Okay. Sorry, I missed this. Yesterday was my anniversary, 5-year anniversary. Yes, and if you do your math right, that's right. We got married, just my wife and I, in a courtroom because COVID. But the um the roadmap roundup came up yesterday, and I missed it. And I saw a lot of people in the PvP community cheering because they thought these things got removed or something like that, because they think that PvE or like non combat stuff is bad. And well, yeah, agreed. I disagree. That's the opposite of what I think it should be. But I don't know if that's exactly what happened. So we're taking a peek at all this. And yeah. Wrong channel. So wait. I feel like this is all the same. Okay. They've added 3 new hairstyles, and the card received a visual, which was probably the sneak peek. Dynamic Snow just received a new visual. Wicklow ships just received a new visual. Is this, bro? Stop doing roadmap updates. If you have to take it to this level, maybe we should stop doing that. I don't know. But all right, I'm being told to read the special ships. Add the following special ships: Wiggle Emporium, Starlancer Attack, Drake Golem, Anvil Terrapin Medic with upgraded components and a unique base livery. We know this. These ships can be unlocked by bringing the NPC Wicklow a number of favors in exchange rewards. Okay. Yeah, we know that. Added the ASC Light Combat Stealthers, a reward earned by players by completing Onyx facility missions. Card received a new visual. Wicklow Light combat suit. So it's just the special one, which I think was the sneak peek. Onyx facilities located on every moon of the Stanton system. These enormous multi-level structures are used for the new sandbox activity coming in Alpha 4.3. Okay. This card has been renamed from abandoned underground facilities to Onyx facilities. So now there's going to be a distro center on every moon. But it will not be a functioning distro center. I don't get it. What's wrong with distros? Why make something new? I think they are distros, but they're abandoned. I think that's what it is. That's basically what they look like in the concept art. Cooperative zones. This card has temporarily been removed as it won't be ready in time for Alpha 4.3. Onyx facility missions are now being categorized as sandbox activities rather than cooperative zones. I'm so confused. Adding the ASD Light Combat Stealth Suit, a reward earned by players for completing the Onyx facility missions. But the card has been removed. So there's missions and a sandbox activity. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to think. All I saw was PvPers like cheering that they removed this. I guess because they don't think, all right, Mike, since I work on this shit, it is a location for a specific mission that can be later repeated. Okay, I mean, I figured. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So there'll be missions that are there, but Yeah, I mean, the sandbox stuff is different, right? No sandbox. I don't know. I don't understand. We have other posts though. So the first thing that people were like freaking out about, because somebody said we couldn't figure out how to make co-op zones non-PvP. And then Xylo says, a friendly reminder, which immediately I laugh because that's not friendly at all. It's condescending, always, when you talk like that. Is a particular card that's marked as tentative. These labels are broken down on the roadmap with the following descriptions. This deliverable is tentatively scheduled, but has not gone through the review process and may shift around on the roadmap. Then you shouldn't show it at all. You shouldn't talk about it at all. Committed, this deliverable is scheduled and has passed the final review process. There is a very low chance of this deliverable being pushed back. That's when you should talk about it. Released is obvious, right? The cooperative zones are part of an initiative we're very excited about. That said, they won't be ready for 4.3, so we've updated the roadmap accordingly. Okay, and then he posted something else. He's updated the description on the Roundup to be more clear. I don't know what it said before. Oh, I guess I do know what it said before. This card has been removed. The Onyx facility missions are now categorized as sandbox activities. And then he changed it to what we read, temporarily removed, as they won't be ready for 4.3. What's the difference between, I mean, we won't know, but I wonder what the difference is between cooperative zones and the missions. Are they the same? Are they different? How do they differ? I guess we won't find that out right now. Sandbox could be PvP. I don't know. Not necessarily. If you put an armistice zone on them, are they PvP? Co-op made it sound like instancing. I think people were coping probably with instancing. Lars is fuming, but I don't think you should be sharing why. I don't think you should be saying anything. Because it's very clear that publicly they don't want to say anything. But if Lars is mad and he works on this stuff, I don't know. My first assumption is the missions are the cooperative zone stuff. I don't get it. Well, we're morons because we don't have any information, right? Like that's where we're sitting here. I don't know. Yeah, armistice plus tractor. Yeah, I think that's probably what it'll be. I don't know. Sandbox would in general equal instance. No, it would not. What? Hathor is sandbox activity, and so's Lazarus. Those aren't instances. Yeah, we just don't know what co-op zones meant, but we're all sitting here assuming because they never give any information, I guess. So yeah, it's just very confusing. I don't know what to think. There was one other thing related to Wicklow ships, actually. Let me bring this up. This was from Niku. And says currently, Wicklow special ships are only available at Wicklow's Emporium. There are no immediate plans to change this. That said, we are actively discussing the possibility of adding some of our recently released ships to the other ship dealer terminals. That would kill Wicklow altogether. I don't know. I think this is a problem of not having crafting, I think. Is you want people to grind, for lack of a better word, to earn things in the game. Players of this community are not capable of doing that because, for one, most of these areas are PvP, and they don't want to do that. And most of the experiences with Wicklow are not great. Turning in stuff is horrible. And I think if you take a number of ships out of Wicklow as an exclusive and put them just for in-game purchase, you're going to end up the only reason doing Wicklow is for components, which is okay, I guess, and a skin, which is kind of like, if you don't like the skin, then you don't do it. So like Wicklow is currently kind of like a placeholder for crafting without it being like crafting at all. So yeah. If you go back and watch the video on Distro Center release, they were supposed to be exactly what they said these new things are going to be. They were supposed to add basements, missions, and other content, but instead they abandoned them and now spend more dev hours making something new. Talk about fuming. Yeah. Like, they put in the distro centers, never did anything with them outside of a few missions and the LL scopes that they put at them. So, I mean, that's par for the course with these guys, you know? I mean, they've been better. Look at them with Wicklow. They're being better with that. Yeah, remember when we were supposed to raid distro centers? I don't know. I don't know what's happened to that. So maybe this is part of that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you guys are going to be mad at me or whatever, but I feel like I had to tell Lars not to say anything else because I don't know what they're comfortable with him saying because they haven't said what these things are at all, which tells me that Jared has no content, obviously. So this has to be an ISC that they want to do. And they're holding back for that. But then if we're getting an Evo patch, then we're going to know anyway. So I have no idea. But that's the roadmap update. The real quick though on the PvP community, I don't know what is going on with these guys. I had a good talk with some in a Discord yesterday that like actually weren't being stupid about this. In a game where there's going to be players who don't like to PvP and there's players who do like to PvP, there has to be content for the players who don't like to PvP. And like specific content just for them. So they have something that they do. And oh, yeah, we should actually look at the visuals as well. So thank you. All right. Let me grab that. Right? And that way you don't lose your player base. Your potential player base of let's call it piracy targets. Like that's for piracy. PvPers should not be concerned at all about what like the space dads want to do. Because if you're an actual PvPer and you're not like doing it for the competition, then what are you doing, right? Let's show you those real fast. So this is the regular ASD suit, I think. Then this is the Wicklow version, it looks like, for sure. Comes with a backpack, but a light one, so. And again, I don't think we're going to get anything related to radar or anything that they said that the suit would do. Hairstyles are whatever. You know, some of these might fit what you want. Snow. So this is what snow will look like. They don't show what snow will look like on your visor. And then these are the Wicklow ships. So there's the visuals of those. Cool, I guess. We need juicy, fun ways for PvPers to get sick loot and cargo so pirates can pirate them and get crime stats so bounty hunters can... Yeah, like, kind of understanding that that's part of it. You need to get that. But also, you know, people who do not want to participate at all in PvP should be able to. But that shouldn't be the game, right? Like, in this Discord that I was in, It's like a PvP Discord. We were talking about how, remember SitCon last year? It was like talking about crafting the higher grade materials or whatever. They're going to be in Pyro. The better materials are going to be in Pyro. The better materials are going to be in areas that have risk. The risk versus the reward. So yeah, Lars says, good news. I have discovered who wrote the roadmap update. I now have a target. All right. Well, hopefully we get some clarification here. I would just, Lars, if I was you, I would just say, hey, is it cool if I make a Spectrum post about my stuff and kind of give more detail on what it is? Because it's so vague and nobody knows what they are. Everybody's just guessing. And again, there's going to be an Evo patch. It's going to be out there in the world very soon. But yeah, I guess there's PvP at CIG. That's going to happen. This will be funny. But I can't possibly even know what Lars is frustrated by. I'm going to be honest. We don't know anything. So it's weird. But yeah, like players need to play the game the way they want to. And in an MMO, there's always like a lot of content in the game for solo players, for PvP, well, a little less so in more modern MMOs, right? And a lot of PvP, or a lot of PvE, excuse me, right? Like the leveling process is usually almost entirely PvE and stuff like that. And I don't see a whole lot wrong with that, right? Like the main story quest of Star Citizen, I imagine, is going to try to attempt to be as non-PvP as possible. Right? So think of a mission that you take now that brings you to like a random location. My guess is that location will just appear when you take it in a different spot. I think this is what Eve does. It like with missions or with what are they called? Escalations, where they just kind of appear and maybe players can find where you are, but it's like extremely challenging. They would have to know exactly where to look, and they would have to know that that's what you're doing or something. Well, no, abyssals are actual instances, so maybe not abyssals, or maybe instances. And like players just do that stuff. And the best thing to do would be that you actually get things that are valuable to a PvPer, and then a player who is not a PvPer at all could maybe think about doing it, right? Dive in the deep end and experience that. And in this game, it's actually quite cool, right? It's pretty scuffed in a lot of ways, but I don't know. The satisfaction of being on target on somebody and watching their ship exploding is really strong in this game. Same with FPS. Like when you kill a player, it's very satisfying. So you can like kind of dive in and get really excited about that experience. And that's what most of the PvPers in Star Citizen are like. They're super into it, right? Like it's like their thing. They don't do anything else. Because they're that, I don't know, addicted wouldn't be the word, but yeah, that's the best one I got for the moment. And yeah, there's that option, but then there's also the option of hopefully we have some sort of a marketplace where players are interacting with each other that way. So then PvEers are selling to PvPers, PvPers are selling to PvEers, and then we're all kind of on top of that cyclical thing that was just mentioned. Yeah, we're all in this thing together in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, again, that's all I got on this. You don't want cooperative zones or whatever this is going to be to not be there if it's good content. If it's good content for non-PvP players, that's the best thing a PvPer would ever want, is a popular game that lots of people are playing, right? Like, I don't know why we would ever argue against this. It's just, almost every event has been PvP focused. Almost everything this year has been PvP focused. I can't imagine even listening to a PvP player complaining about one PvE thing right now. Even this event, like, it's hard to listen to it because it's like, can people who don't want to be killed by other players constantly have an experience in this game or no, right? So I don't know. That's just where I'm at.